Too many words, too little action. Faith that we say and that we claim and that we think is sincere, but actions that oftentimes contradict that faith. We're not being truly sincere Muslims because we're not striving to put that faith into action. So what is it? What is it that can enable a better connection between our words and our actions? If there's only one thing that you remember from this khutbah, remember this. It is feeling. It is feeling. For many of us, what is lacking or what is missing altogether is feeling. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, there will arise a people who recite the Quran and it won't go past their throat. What does that mean? Because if you understand this one hadith, you will understand the whole message of my khutbah. What do you recite the Quran with? Your tongue, your mouth, with words. And it doesn't go past their throat. What's past the throat? The heart. So we recite words, we say words, but they don't touch our hearts. They don't affect us. We don't feel anything. What does this mean? What is this showing? This is showing what I mentioned before, the disconnection between the words that we say and our actions. Because if you don't feel anything in your heart, you'll be less inclined to act. When I was on that floor, putting those bottles of alcohol back under my bed, I felt something. I felt fear, taqwa. I felt awe. I felt humility. I felt faith. And those feelings, they compelled me to act. And at the risk of beating a dead horse, where did I have those feelings? Did I have those feelings in my brain? In my head? No, that's where thoughts are. Words. Did I have these feelings on my tongue, in my mouth? No, that's where speech is. More words. I had those feelings in my heart. And those feelings compelled me, motivated me to act. And as difficult as it was to do, I dumped those bottles of alcohol in the toilet. Now I want to pause here to make two quick parenthetical remarks. Am I saying that words, that thoughts, that speech don't motivate? I'm not saying that at all, so don't misunderstand me. You can read a lot of ayahs in the Quran. You can hear a lecture. You can read a lot of the ahadith, and they can motivate you. Yes, even if you don't have feeling. Let's say we read something that says in the sunnah or in the works of the scholars or whatever, that says you're required to do something. For instance, you're required to pray. And you will get X, Y, Z rewards and you will get X, Y, Z punishments. And you conceptualize that. And you say to yourself, okay, it's a bargain. If I do this, I'll get rewards. If I don't do it, I'll get punishments. Those are words, that's information, that's knowledge. You don't necessarily have to feel it, to do it, because you understand that it's a bargain, and that motivates you to do it. But devoid of feeling, in my opinion, that action will eventually become robotic. It'll become ritualistic, because it's in your mind. It's something that you just conceptualize. Often doing the act simply to satisfy the religious obligation. But if you have feeling, if you feel something, that feeling can last a lifetime. Because feeling comes from a deeper understanding of the purpose of things. So if you understand why we have to pray, why we do the things that we do, if you understand why these tasks, these obligations were given to us, fasting, zakah, prayer, etc., you will develop a deep appreciation for it, and you'll have feelings of joy for it. And that can last a lifetime. When we get up in the morning to go to work, what's our motivation? Are we motivated by money only? If so, then that work will become a ritual. But if we're also motivated because we enjoy our work, we enjoy our job, how much easier does that make it? Enjoyment, joy is what? A feeling. How many of us can say that we have a joy for Islam? So I'm not saying that words don't motivate, but feelings motivate far above and beyond that and are far more lasting. The second remark that I want to make is a qualification. And that is a qualification of the types of feelings that I'm talking about. Positive feelings. Because there are negative feelings. And I think the best example I can give you to illustrate this is the feeling of anger. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, don't get angry. What's one of the prescriptions that he gave us if we get angry? One of them, among many, is to make wudu. Why do we make wudu? Why did he say make wudu if you get angry? Because when you get angry, when you get really angry, you get hot. I'm sure this has happened to many of us. Somebody says something to insult you or insult a family member or maybe physically harms you. You feel your blood boiling. That is a negative feeling. Because that type of anger leads people to lose control. Leads people to commit injustices, perhaps violence. This is the type of anger that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was referring to, and that he warned us to avoid. So these are the types of feelings that are negative that I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about developing these types of feelings. I'm talking about the feelings that are positive, that result in things that are productive, like empathy. You know, you hear on the news or you see with your own eyes oppression. Whether it's oppression of Muslims, whether it's oppression of people in general, of any religion, we should feel something, right? We should feel anger. It's okay to feel anger, but that's the positive anger. It's the anger that doesn't get you into a state of rage. It's not an anger that gets you into a state of hatred that motivates you to do something illegal or violent. It's the anger that motivates you to do something good, like start a movement, start a website, start protesting, write letters to your congressman or your representative. They motivate you to do something that will help the situation. And so that's a positive anger. So what I'm talking about is developing feelings that are positive, like more feelings of empathy, more feelings of love, more feelings for Allah, for the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, for Islam. These are the types of feelings that I'm talking about developing.